Hello friends, in this video we will be discussing ranking in higher education. So if you are going for higher studies or going for teaching job, all will advise you to go for a good university or institute. But which one is good? How to judge good is really good for you or not? Let us start. In earlier days, universities like Taxila, Bikramsila, Nalanda were famous universities throughout world. But at present days, universities like Stanford, Oxford, Cambridge are recognized as the topmost universities in the world. There are many top universities you can find one to be better than the other in different aspects. There are some of the world famous universities here. They are MIT, NTU, Harvard, Caltech, University of Chicago, and so on. Not only this, there are hundreds and thousands of such universities exist which are reasonably good. Each of them have strengths and weakness. As a student, you have to choose which one is reasonably good for you. So if a university or college is nearby your city or house, you can personally go there and get direct feedback. However, it is not possible if you have to choose from a large number of universities and they spread across your own country or across whole world. To make it relatively easy for students, some ranking agencies work hard, gather information from universities as well as reliable sources, and then do some ranking. This may not give you 100% accuracy, but give a reasonable, accurate information and help you to select an institute of your choice. Again, there is a large number of ranking agencies there. As a student or parent, it becomes difficult which ranking you should follow and how to predict the suitable university for a student. So today we'll discuss about world's three mostly adopted ranking agencies and their ranking criteria. As I am from India, I shall also briefly present the India's mostly followed ranking system, that is NIRM. It is clear that students are slowly depending on institute ranking review for taking admission. So it is also need of time that the good institutes should try to improve their quality and fulfill the criteria for ranking. So subsequently try to get a good rank. This will attract good students which will have a cumulative positive effect. So this video is also helpful for universities, institutes planning for inclusion in ranking system. This presentation is outlined like this. We'll be discussing parameters for ranking, 4 important ranking agencies, criteria for ranking by each of them, comparison of criteria and weightage in ranking for each of them. So out of these 4, which one to select and why? All universities choose some parameters for ranking. What are those parameters? Let us see those parameters. First is quality of faculties. It is expected that the faculties should have doctorate with good research capability, they have good reputation. Second point is faculty to student ratio. In an university or institute, on an average, the number of students or faculty indicates how faculty can give better attention to the students. So that's the faculty to student ratio. Research excellence and its impact. Students and faculty do research, but how it is recognized, how it is used in society, that matters much. Research funding. There are many research funding organizations and industry. They fund for doing research or solve industry challenges. The next parameter is international reputation of institute. How the institute is known at international level. Awards won by the students and faculties. Students' admissions, whether the students are admitted from one place or throughout the country, or students are coming from different countries, that matters, and how the students are getting satisfied. So different ranking agency use some or all of these and give different weightage to different components. Then follow some ranking algorithm and come out with a list of university with their rank. That is the ranking. Universities are ranked by different ranking agencies. There are 20 different global ranking systems are there. Among them, most influential are QS World Ranking, World University Ranking, Times Higher Education World University Ranking, the Academic Ranking of World University, and the fourth one is the ranking organizations, which is specifically adopted in India. Okay, we will discuss each of them. So the QS World University Ranking, this started in 2004 along with Times Higher Educations. From 2004 till 2009, QS and Times Higher Education both were doing the ranking. In 2009, the Times Higher Education separated from QS and started its own ranking mechanism. The earlier methodology was followed by the QS, and that became the intellectual property of QS ranking system. In 2010, Times Higher Education started ranking individually after getting separated from QS ranking system, and it has become one of the most widely considered global ranking system for higher education institutes. Next is academic ranking of world universities. It was earliest global university ranking system, started in 2003. The ARWU ranks more than 1800 universities every year, and the best 1000 are published. Originally published by the Shanghai Jiaotong University, and since 2009 been maintained by Shanghai Ranking Consultancy. In India, before 2014, there were many ranking agencies like India Today, Outlook, DataQuest, where these ranking agencies were dominating. In 2015, Ministry of Human Resource Development (MHRD) initiated for ranking of higher education institutes, and now it is well known as National Institutional Ranking Framework, or known as NIRF. In fact, now this is the dominating ranking system widely accepted in India. In 2020, around 3,771 institutes or universities participated in this NIRF ranking. So now we will discuss briefly about all four ranking methodology and compare. First one is QS World University Ranking. The indicators for ranking are academic reputation from global survey, which is counts for 40% weightage. This survey is conducted by QS from widely distributed pool of academic experts. In 2013, they have taken survey from almost 62,000 people across 32 countries. The survey includes questionnaires related to research and impactful contribution towards society by students, faculties, alumni, because of the institute reputation increases internationally. Is the faculty student ratio, which counts for 20%. Then citation per faculty from Scopus. Then employer reputation from global survey. They conduct global survey. Based on that, they find out the reputations of the employers, how the employer are satisfied with the students. That contributes 10%. Proportion of the internal students and the proportion of the international faculty both contributes 5% and 5% weightage each. That's how they compute out of 100. Whoever gets the highest, that is given the higher ranking. Let us discuss the ranking of Indian universities by QS 2022. So this is published now in 21, but can be used by students for admission in 2022. That's why it is given as the 2022. I have summarized the QS ranking given to Indian universities here. If you look in the 2022 world ranking of Indian universities, you will find out that IIT Bombay is the best because of the overall ranking in comparison to IISc Bangalore. So IIT Mumbai is 46.4, whereas IISc Bangalore is getting 45.7. Okay, this does not mean that IISc Bangalore is not good. If you look at citation per faculty of IISc Bangalore, this factor, this score is 100. In fact, IISc Bangalore share the topmost position for citations per faculty score as 100 with MIT, Harvard and other 6 universities. So in this year, 6 universities got 100 out of 100 for citation for faculty, and our IISc Bangalore is one of them. So IISc Bangalore is the best university for research, okay? But when you consider the overall ranking, IIT Bombay is scored highest. If you see the academic reputation of IIT Mumbai, they have 51.3, which contributes significantly. Employer reputation, if you see, IIT Bombay students are in high demand, so they also create impact on national and international level. That is how IIT Mumbai has scored higher in comparison to IISc Bangalore. If you see IISc Bangalore, this is mostly research institutes. If one student is interested to have a top corporate job, should preferably may give higher priority for higher employer reputation and academic reputation, just like IIT Mumbai is here. But if one interested for research, may preferably go for university with higher citation per faculty and academic reputations. If you see IISc Bangalore, they are much better for in terms of research. There are in many other universities that they are in this list. However, this is ranking of universities. This QS also perform ranking of institutes used based on different subjects. They do ranking for engineering, they do ranking from management and other things also. So that things, if you want, please write in the comment. I shall prepare a video for that. Now let us go to the second ranking agency, that is Times Higher Education World University Ranking. In this, the 100% is divided like this: teaching 30%, research 30%, citation 30%, international outlook 7.5%, industry income is 2.5%. This 30% is divided as reputation survey 15%, staff to student ratio 4.5%, doctoral to bachelor student ratio as 2.25%, give weightage to the institutional income. Then the second one is research, which all depends on the reputation survey, research income, research productivity. Then the citation, this also is dependent on the research publications. Beyond that, then we go to the international outlook. Is 7.5%, in which they see international to domestic student ratio, international to domestic staff ratio, international collaborations, then industry income. All these things are considered by the Times Higher Education with this specific weightage. And from this you can see 60% weightage is given for research only, these two, and 30% here for teaching, and this 10% is for international outlook, industry income. Next we will see the 2021 world ranking for Indian universities by the Times Higher Education. Whatever is recently available, that I have taken. Here IISc is coming as first. Why this is IISc Bangalore? Because IISc is the best Indian university for research. And one more thing you can observe, that no old IITs are here. It may be possible that they may not have opted to be part of the Times Higher Education ranking for university wise. They may have opted for the specific engineering branch, they may have opted, or the specific department wise they may have opted, but not as the university wise. I shall make a detailed video on the Times Higher Education ranking. If any one of you have any specific queries on this, please give in comment. I shall incorporate them in my next video. Times Higher Education also do ranking for subjects wise, like electrical and electronics engineering, which institutes are best. In that, most of the old and new IITs are coming. So we'll see those in the latter detailed video, but most of the parameters of evaluation remain the same. The next ranking agency is the Academic Ranking of World University, or ARWU. The criteria for evaluations are given here. So first one is the quality of education, in which the indicator is alumni of institute winning Nobel Prize and field medals. So you can see that here they expect that the alumni of the institute received prestigious Nobel Prize or field medals of that standard. So that is given as 10% weightage. Second one is the quality of faculty. That means universities should have faculties who already won Nobel Prize of awards of that level. That is given a weightage of 20%. Then highly cited research, that is given 20%. And the research output published in Nature of Science, that is given 20%. Okay. And research output paper indexed in Science Citation Index, expanded, and Social Science Index Citation Index, that is also 20%. So you can see here all 90% are almost related to high quality research. So ARWU mostly focus only on research. And finally, per capita academic performance of an institute. So that is how total is coming to be 100%. ARWU also do ranking for only 500 universities, institutes, subject wise. So let us see best universities in India for 2020 ranking by ARWU. These are the rankings. We observe that IISc Bangalore got first rank in India, and in world ranking it is coming between 500 to 600. Then IIT Madras, University of Calcutta, University of Delhi, they are coming between 600 to 700 and ranked as second, third and fourth in India. Then IIT Delhi, IIT Kharagpur, JNU, they are coming in between 700 to 800 and ranked as 5th, 6th and 7th in India. Right? And if you see all these universities, University of Calcutta being very old, they have alumni who get Nobel Prize or awards that is recognized by ARWU. They have faculties who got such prize that is recognized by ARW. JNU also have alumni who received such awards. Now we'll come to the fourth ranking framework, that is NIRF. The various parameters they consider are teaching and learning resources is 30%, in which they consider student strength, faculty to student ratio, faculties with PhD and experience, resources and their utilization. That total constitute for the 30% weightage. Then research and professional practice, in which they see the publication, quality of publications, patent, funding. That makes 30% weightage. Graduation outcomes, students placement, where they placed, what is the average salary, how many PhD students are coming out. That makes the graduation outcomes, and that is given 20% weightage. Outreach and inclusivity, they expect that good universities should have good mix of students from different states, different socio-economic conditions, women students. If university is giving facility to physically challenged students or not. So considering that, they have allocated 10% weightage. And perceptions is there, how the university is viewed by other. These parameters are also used for engineering institute ranking. Based on this, the top 10 universities are given here. So IIT Madras is coming in the top, then ISC, Bangalore, then IIT Delhi, IIT Mumbai, IIT Kharagpur, Kanpur, and so on. We'll have detailed video on NIRF in next month. If you have any specific queries on this, please tell that through comments. I shall try to incorporate that during preparation of next video. If you find this video to be informative and useful like this, your one like will encourage me to make similar useful videos in future. Okay, we have gone through 4 universities ranking agencies. Now let us compare them again. This comparison is only based on data available from their website and my viewpoints. So you may agree, you may disagree also. If you like, please accept. If you don't like, please reject it. So this is what is the comparisons, the weightage we already discussed given by each of the ranking agencies. The first one is QS ranking, the second is the Times Higher Education ranking, third one is the ARWU ranking, and fourth one is the NIR ranking. The QS in academic ranking look for good teaching and good research. Again, faculty student ratio is also can be combined with teaching and research also. And employer reputation is related to students' outcome who are well appreciated by employers. This has much similarity in weightage with NIRF ranking for teaching, research and student outcome. NIRF expects students faculty distribution from all over India, and QS also expect from all over world. So we can say that QS ranking and NIRF ranking can have almost similar weightage to different parameters. But if you see the Times Higher Education, they give 60% weightage for research. ARWU has almost all components are strongly dependent on research outcome. So as a student, before going for finding out any university, he or she should be clear about what he wants to pursue, research as a career or looking for job perspective. Accordingly, can look for university inclines toward that. If you are a university and planning to be part of the ranking, better to evaluate your strengths and accordingly go for ranking. Thanks for watching this video. If you like the content, please click on like and share with your friends. This will motivate me for making similar informative videos. I would like to give special thanks to my graduate students Nikhil, Sakshi, Binaya, Ayush, who have helped me in preparing the presentations. Thanks.